Which investment would you say is safer? Putting your money in Costco or putting your money in Nvidia stock? Today we're going to look at these two well-known companies that do very different things, yet both trade at expensive valuations. We're going to look at these two in terms of if you were to buy the stock, what exactly are you buying and what makes the most sense for long-term investors. Now, if you've ever listened to this channel before, you know I typically do not talk about individual stocks, but I just couldn't resist. So when we're looking at Costco and when we're looking at Nvidia, I think most people would think, well, Nvidia, which makes processing units for all this artificial intelligence and technology, it's been in the news for how expensive it is. Comparing it to Costco, which is a great place to go if you want to buy a 10-pound jar of pickles, you would think Nvidia is probably going to be much more expensive. Well, as it turns out today, right, and we are late September 2024, Nvidia is trading at a little over 40 times price to earnings, and Costco is trading at a little more than 50 times price to earnings. So what does that mean when I say price to earnings? We've discussed this in past videos, but basically, right, it is the amount that you're paying per dollar in earnings. And so that's also the amount of years it would take for you to get your money back if you were just going to get the earnings out of the company. So use Costco, for example, trading over a 50 times price to earnings. If Costco were to distribute all of its earnings and to not grow from here, it would take you 50 years to get your money back. And so when you look at Nvidia and you look at Costco, make no mistake, these are both expensive, but I think it's actually surprising that Costco is more expensive than Nvidia. In particular, when you look at Costco relative to its own sector. So Nvidia's sector is technology. Costco's sector is consumer staples. And when you look at consumer staples, right, these are staples for consumers. And so Costco, you go buy these things no matter what sort of environment, no matter if you're in a recession or an expansion, you still need groceries, you still need paper towels. And so what most people look at is they say, well, these are safer stocks to own. They're not going to be impacted by the big swings in the market because no matter what, you still got to buy groceries. And while it's true, people do still need to buy groceries, sometimes that trade or that bet can essentially extend to the point where a company like Costco can be a great company, but the price that people are willing to pay for that company can get a little over its skis. And so when we're looking at these two, right, you've got Costco trading with a 50-year payback if they give you all of the earnings back every single year, and you've got Nvidia trading at an over 40-year payback. Now, we could spend an hour or more talking about the intricacies of what could go wrong or right with Costco and what could go wrong or right with Nvidia. But at the beginning of this video, I said I'm going to tell you which one I would recommend. Here's the point of this video. To quote the famous Warren Buffett, right, who has been investing for decades, he said the great thing about investing is you don't have to swing. Right? It's baseball, but you don't have to swing until you get the fat pitch, which is just another word for a great opportunity. And what is the kind of counterpoint to great opportunity is just taking a big risk. And in either of these scenarios, with these two stocks trading at these multiples, if you look at paying a lot for a future cash flow as a risk, these could both be relatively risky. And so more importantly, the reason I thought this was interesting is some people assume certain types of companies are more conservative or a safer bet than others. And that's not always the case. And I always say you should know what you own and know why you own it. I hope you found this helpful. And as always, thanks for investing your time with the Personal CFO.